Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of WIP Wednesday Live. Tonight, episode 46. I'm your host, Matt. This is a weekly live stream where I customize live, chat with fellow community members, and get to chat with all you fine people in the comments. Oh, there's a lot of people here already. That's pretty damn awesome. So if you haven't been here before, please check out the channel, subscribe, obviously like the video, leave a comment, definitely appreciated. Helps the channel out a lot and costs you nothing, which is always nice to be able to support without actually doing anything. Last week on WIP Wednesday Live, I had my good friend Ryan from Moose Milk Media join me for my birthday show. It was the night before my birthday, and it went for a very long time. We chatted for 3 hours, a little over 3 hours. I think it's the longest episode I've had so far. And I got quite a bit of customizing done. Unfortunately, immediately following said episode, I started working, real work, not fun work, and proceeded to do so for the the next 3 days after that. And I actually have not customized since last week. I've been busy between work and other projects, which I'll get into in a few minutes here. So if you haven't already, please go show that video some love. Me and Ryan just being ourselves, shooting the shit, and kind of just being stupid. So go show us some love, please. Aside from that, you get a little double dose of moose milk because, as per usual, our Saturday night pod, we were over on his channel on YouTube. You can check that out here. What we got? There we go. Saturday nights, 10 p.m. Pacific time. We went over episode 6, I believe it was, of The Last of Us. And so we've been doing that every week, breaking it down, talking spoilers. So if you're interested in hearing what we have to say, as somebody who has no idea what the video game is actually about, because I'm not a video game player, and then Ryan being a hardcore gamer, he's obsessed with the game. So it's definitely a fun take to have somebody who has no idea what they're talking about versus somebody who basically knows what's happening. And I love it. And I just love chatting with Ryan. So good stuff. Before we get into the guest tonight, next week's guest, I'm going to have my buddy Will Bailey on, Token Customs. Really, really great customizer who has been participating in all of the secret swaps that we do, formerly on the Foosh and now at Legendary Secret Swap. He will be joining us next week for a very late episode for him, because he's on the East Coast. So sorry, Will. If you aren't following Token already, please go give him a follow on Instagram. He's a very talented customizer, and I'm very excited to chat with him. We've never really done this before, so I'm excited to get the opportunity to. But this week, my guest is probably one of the most relatable, funny people on my Instagram feed. He does satirical toy comedy, kind of pokes fun at like all the gaffes of being a toy collector, being part of that nerd culture and the toy community. Please give a very warm welcome to my friend, Toy Farce. Hey, man. And Little Grogs.
Hello. I'm fine. How about you?
Yeah, man. Can't complain. Just we're having like this super weird weather in Vancouver right now. Like usually we don't get snow, and this is like No, not in Vancouver. That was one of the selling points of moving to Vancouver, because I was originally from
all the Nordic countries were getting snow, because I'm in Finland and we have a shit ton of it.
I bet you do. Well, I'm used to snow because I grew up in Ontario. So like I hope snow was like November to April snow. Like it was just a given. And then when I started looking at moving out to BC, everyone was like, oh, right in the lower mainland, they don't really get snow, maybe, once every few years. And I was like, yeah, I'm sold. Let's do that.
So
And
you sold all the snow plowers and all the
that's
stuff, like
right.
to clean the
I
car
mean,
and all. Like, never meet
in
again.
fairness, like the temperature doesn't drop nearly as cold as it does in Ontario and probably in
Okay.
Finland. Like, here it's only like even at its coldest in the lower mainland, like, I'm like -6 or 7. Like it's not
Yeah.
too
Well, that's
bad,
what we
right?
have these days right now, but it went to -20 in early January.
No
That's in
thanks.
Celsius. If it's in
Yes, for
Fahrenheit,
not
it
for
must
the
be like
Americans.
-700 or some weird numbers that makes no sense. But for us, it's -20 degree.
Yeah, that's cold. I can't do it. I've
Yeah.
climatized to BC way too much, but now it's like there's like 4 feet of snow on the ground right now, right? So it's just like it's crazy. It's crazy. Like, and it's
It
just so
followed you like,
lifeless. I
you won't
know.
escape.
But yeah, we're gonna get you. So yeah, so thank you very much for taking the time to join me today. I know
Yeah,
you
thank you
kind of
for
just
having me.
woke up. It's very early over there in Finland for you. I think you said 7 a.m., right?
Yeah, but that's the time I wake up anyway, so that's
There you go.
that
No
wasn't
better
an
way
issue.
to start your day, your Thursday, with a WIP Wednesday live session.
Exactly. Like I logged in for work and now I'm just there and in a couple of hours I'll actually work. No, I
That's
did not.
good.
In case my boss is watching. No,
Yeah,
I did not.
he's good. He's gonna do it after, he told me. So for anybody who maybe isn't familiar with who you are and what you do you want to maybe, I'm gonna give you the screen here, but you want to maybe just kind of fill everybody in
Well,
on who you
your
are,
intro
what
was
you
pretty
do,
good,
what you
actually. I have
collect?
to take that in writing.
I'll send it to
That
you.
was like, hey, he put into words everything I do. Nice.
Well, I say it with all honesty because I often wake up in the morning. It's like it seems like the timing of your posts end up being like right when I wake up. So it's like I wake up,
Okay.
and when I go on Instagram, you're kind of like the first couple of things that show up, and it always starts my day with a good chuckle because it's just like, yeah, it's always so relatable, and you're just you never miss a beat. You're always on it, and yeah, you always have me laughing, man. So if anybody who's not
Usually.
following Toy Farce on IG, and you can also check out Toy News International for more Toy Force content, and the URL is right there as well. But why don't you just tell everybody, what kind of stuff you do, what kind of stuff you collect?
Well, the stuff I do, like you said, I do parody and satirical news about toys because, well, one day I think the first one I did was when Mandalorian in the TV show, season 3 right now available, he just got the Beskar armor, and I was making a joke with a friend that like I just grabbed a Boba Fett figure and had a spray can of paint and just saying like they're gonna just spray old unsold Boba Fett figures and make them available as the Mandalorian or something. And people were like, "Hey, this is great! You should do jokes like that." And also, I just started a page, and well, it was 3 years ago now, and I guess now I'm posting on Toy News International, which is still mind blowing to me.
That's great.
And yeah, still trying to make collectors laugh and all. Simple as that. What I collect, that's gonna be. How much time do we have?
There's a lot. I actually don't think I ever realized how big your collection space is. Like, that's pretty
That's my living
substantial.
room because I don't have just a room. I have the whole apartment full.
Oh man, that sounds great. I wish I had that. I
I
don't
don't
have that.
mess with just one room. That's not enough. In terms of what I collect, I guess, well, behind me, it's mostly Batman stuff, like from
Okay.
DC Direct, Hot Toys, McFarlane Toys, even a NECA Batman, because they did a Predator Batman
Yes,
set,
that.
Alien
Yes.
Batman set. Star Wars as well, a bit of video game characters or stuff from movies and series I like, Ninja Turtles, and pretty much like you just check the list and it's all like yes,
It's out
yes,
there?
yes.
Oh, there. What are you? Do you do much of the NECA Ninja Turtle stuff, or do you kind of?
Yeah, just behind there's the Street Diorama from NECA, and it's all the movie figures and the
Oh, no.
Universal Monster ones and just the 4 normal ones from the cartoon, because
You don't want to
thankfully
go
I did
beyond that,
not
though?
start the cartoon ones, and now that I see that there's so many of them, I'm like,
There's
yes.
so many. I have to say that I like, I love, as much as I love the movie turtles, I do. I think they're my favorite set of turtles that I have, just
Yeah.
because they are like eerily realistic. But I love the depth that we've gotten from that NECA Toon line, man, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, those
I see one of
characters
my
that you
buddies.
barely saw. They went the Star Wars route where you see it for 1 second
2
on the
seconds.
screen. We're
Yeah,
gonna make a
and
figure of
there's
it.
a figure. Actually, one of my buddies in here, I haven't gotten through the chat yet, but Figurama is my buddy, one of my local friends, and he was in Washington earlier this week and picked up the stuff I was looking for from Holothon. So
Oh, cool.
everything except the accessory pack. That's the only thing I'm still on the hunt for. But yeah, I'm super excited to get it.
So it's like 5 or 6 2-packs, 4 separate figures and all. It was like,
Yeah,
here
there's
is
a lot.
$900 of stuff to buy in one go.
There is a lot of stuff. I'm actually at the point with my Toon collection that like I'm pretty satisfied. There's not really a whole lot left that like I want. So
Yeah.
the remaining pieces will kind of be things that I see that I'm like, that looks kind of cool. I really like, outside of the ones he just picked up for me, he picked up Mona Lisa and Dirk Savage, and he picked up Rex 1 for me. So
Yeah.
aside from those, I'm at the point where like I'm pretty good. I'm sure there'll still be things here and there that will come by, but I'm gonna leave the rest. As much as I want the goods and stuff like that, I'm trying to
Yeah.
behave.
So you're not like a completist that needs
I'm
every
not a
single one
completist.
of them. Okay, good.
No, I can't do that. I don't have room for that. I have to
I
be
used to, but yeah, now it's like, no,
It's too
there's too
hard.
much.
Yeah, there's way too much, and the prices don't make it easier either. So
Yeah, also.
yeah. So
Do you find any of the stuff in Canada easily?
not
Or...
NECA, not NECA. No.
Okay.
Some like we kind of have to rely on our e-stores for that. So like when I'm left hunting on my own for NECA stuff, I usually do like CMD store or
yeah.
I've recently been getting into I think it's DJC collectibles, and then sometimes I'll kind of fill in with like Toy Snowman or Toys Now Man.
Toys Now Man.
But yeah, so to be honest, I'm pretty fortunate to have like a good little group of friends scattered throughout the U.S. So I very rarely am left to fend for myself for NECA. Most of the time is covered between gargoyles and turtles. I'm usually well covered. Yeah. So makes me happy in that sense that I don't have to, smash my head against a wall trying to figure out how I'm going to get all this stuff. So.
Gargoyles, there should be Brooklyn coming out soon, I think.
That's I think Brooklyn's next. Yeah, Brooklyn, and then Hudson. I got Hudson. Yeah, I just got him recently. So,
I took pics of it yesterday for next week's review and stuff like that. The wings are huge again. That's like so much space.
Yeah, I can't actually keep them here because I just can't justify the shelf space they require. At work, I'm not confined to like a shelf. So like I have them all lined up on the back.
All over the desk.
Yeah, on the back of my display. I kind of have like one big flat area in my office that like is like on top of a bunch of shelves and stuff. So like I have like a small scattering of things. Like my Super 7 turtles are there. My WWE figures were there, but I just recently moved them home. And then as you can see down in the corner there, I this weekend I actually emptied out all my MCU stuff finally. So
yeah, so your stories on Instagram. You're selling everything.
I'm selling it all. I'm keeping my 5 original MCU Avengers because they're all import figures that I have. And then my Mafex Iron Spider and Mafex Doctor Strange, and everything else I'm selling. So, and I'm gonna just put those at work and just have a little And same with my comic Avengers and villains and comic cosmic stuff. I want to put more focus into the stuff that I'm enjoying. And it's not that I'm not enjoying the MCU figures. My biggest issue with them is like it's the one part of my collection that is just there's no sign of it slowing down, like you're talking like 20 to 30 figures a year, and like I don't really see it slowing down. So I can't justify that kind of growth year over year. Like I can't. And like my Spider-Man shelf is like full to the brim. My Toon Turtle NECA stuff is filled to the brim. My Power Rangers is like I can't put anything else in them. So like I need to expand on those and kind of let them breathe a bit. So that's what I'm going to use that extra space for, is to be able to
second shelf for each.
Yeah. So
understandable.
Yeah. So I'm going to quickly say hi to everyone in the chat because there's quite a bit of action, which is freaking awesome. Hi, everyone. Peggy Zero Dad was here earlier. Said, have a good one. I'll catch you later. Thanks, Gary. Thanks for stopping by and saying hello. Jordan from Canada. Pleasure to be here with Matthew and Toy Farce and chat. What up, man? Thank you for being here as always. Hey, Marcus. Again, regular in here. Thank you very much. NYC Figure Fanatic. How you doing? D-Me 902. Come on, Hattie. Who is D-Me? Is this D? Is this D?
That's D from Astonishing News and Reviews.
Okay, yeah, I'm not used to the name on it. There you go. What up, buddy? How's it going? Oh yeah, 8 likes. That's great. I love that. Yeah, hit that like, guys, if you
9.
don't mind. 9. Yes.
I just
you got one. Yes. Yes. Toy Farce is here, obviously. Figurama, what up, Sean? How you doing? Thank you for getting me those Holothon figures. I really appreciate you. We'll have to connect in the next couple weeks to get that stuff. Ryan Carper is here.
Ryan Carper is my Holothon guy.
Your guy, yeah. What's up,
He got
man?
me the Ronin, red and black Ronin figure the other day.
Man, I just barely passed on that one. Because I really like the first figure, but like I have just the one with the non-topless one. I have like the regular one, you know?
Yeah.
So I really like it. It's a nice figure.
Yeah, I have both, and now he just
now you
sent
have the
it
red
over,
one.
so I'll get it in a couple of weeks.
Nice.
The red one.
Figurama says Vancouver had some weird snow today. It was like between hail and snow. Yeah, man, it's weird here. I'm not loving it. Neil, what's up, man? Not sure what's more sexy, this guy's accent or his figure display in the background. That is a very nice display, I will say, for sure. Marcus says, good morning, Toy
It's just
Farce.
one side. There's more.
He says, had to shovel my driveway, was expecting toy deliveries today. What'd you get? Did you get anything cool?
The only reason to shovel your driveway, like, there's a truck coming. Okay.
Well, like I said, it's weird for us here because we don't really get snow, so it's always weird. Darth Gutierrez is here. What's up, man? Thank you for stopping by. Really appreciate it. Marcus Yee said, just peeked the Cyclops lady yelling at cat meme on the shirt. Yes, this is one of my shirts that I got. Actually, Prime it kind of was the guy behind this one, so he got me hooked on this webpage called, what's it called? It's slipping my mind. It's been a minute since I ordered, because the last time I ordered like a stupid amount of stuff from them. What is it called? Ripped Apparel. And that's where I get all my kind of like nerdy t-shirts from. So
is it I think Robo from Foosh also get all his shirts from that or something, so they have lots of cool ones.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I got my internet
of
case
cool parodies of nerdy culture stuff.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So I love it. I think Jordan's loving your Batman display. Let me see what else we got. That Rex one is so cool. Yeah, man, I'm super excited to get him. He looks freaking humongous. Mona Lisa, Raf's GF. I picked up the Takahashi Lotus 2-pack for myself, both Mirage figures. Nice. I saw that you had done a review on Triceraton. I haven't watched it yet, but man, that figure. Have you seen any pictures of that?
Huge figure.
Holy crap! He looks like he moves really well for how big he is too.
Also, yeah.
Oh, nice. Do you got Brooklyn? Jelly.
Not yet.
Wow.
I haven't seen if it's out yet, but
yeah, I'm sure it's coming soon. So, Star Marvel, what up, Troop? How you doing, man? Thanks for being here. Jordan says your shelves are epic. Aliases everywhere. D says Ryan's hustling plastic. Love it. All right, we're all caught up. So thank you guys all for being here. Really, really appreciate it. So Toy Farce, usually I kind of start these kind of more interview segments off with just some rapid fire questions just to kind of get a feel for who we're chatting with. Kind of first one is, who's your favorite superhero? I kind of feel like I might know the answer just based on your
I don't know. I really like Superman.
Definitely Superman, right?
Nah, well, Batman and Green Lantern mostly. Those are the one I still read comics from and all that, at least to this day. Then of course Spider-Man has been like, I had stopped reading comic books for a while when I was a kid, but then when the Ultimates, the whole Ultimate world restarted in the early 2000s, then I got back to it, and Ultimate Spider-Man was really my go-to at first,
Me too. I
but
loved
then
it.
yeah, I stayed with more DC, Batman and Green Lantern stuff after the whole Hush and the big storyline started to come out. It was like, okay, there are good stuff there.
Nice.
So
I've
in
never
terms of
really
comic
been a
book, I
DC
prefer
fan.
DC, but in terms of movie, Marvel does it better. So it's
Sure.
kind of
Sure.
weird to
Flip
switch
flop.
from
Yeah,
one to
that's
the
okay.
other.
It's nice to have the variety, right? And you know, you
Yeah,
never know.
exactly.
You may be changing your tune in a couple years.
Yeah,
How do you
exactly.
feel about this whole James Gunn kind of takeover with the DC stuff? Again, for me as an outsider, I'm a big James Gunn fan. So like
Same,
the
yeah.
the DC movies I enjoy, like I really like his Suicide Squad. So if they're gonna be in the vein of that, I'm to be honest, they'll probably make a fan of me. But
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. I haven't been disappointed by any Guardians of the Galaxy so far. I haven't been in the. I liked the Suicide Squad and the Peacemaker series, especially. I think he knows what he's doing, so he got the job, and probably will get some good stuff. Hopefully,
I hope so. I hope so. I hope for
at
for
least it will
both
be
parties.
consistent and stick together as a uniform thing, rather than like the weird things that we have
Yeah,
now,
the
where it's like
piecemeal
several
they're
different
doing.
buckets universe, and
Yeah, yeah.
makes no sense.
Um, Star Marvel saying, "What's your favorite Batman or movie Batman? Sorry, favorite movie Batman."
Well, the Christopher Nolan The Dark Knight is of course up there as kind of a masterpiece movie, but I really
It's
like the
pretty
new
good.
one, the Batman with Pattinson. That
Yeah, I also
I
like that.
watched it a few times when it came out on HBO Max. I had it on replay 24/7 for a while. Like
Yeah,
the
I
atmosphere in
actually
it
like
is
that
really
one too.
Batman. Like that was great.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I really liked the Batman. I thought it was definitely. But again, it's easy for me to say because I just don't have attachment to the character really, right? Like my attachment comes from the movies, really. So
Yeah,
I mean, I like '89 Batman, but really, like the one that really sold it for me was Batman Begins. Like I'm a pretty big fan of Batman Begins. So
for me the Nolan one are just weird for the Batman himself because I don't know why he has to speak like this. It's just weird.
Continuing the kind of rapid fire questions, do you have a favorite supervillain?
Joker, I guess.
Yeah, all right.
I was
That
I
makes
was
sense.
just looking down because I have on my legs tattooed the Joker, Magneto, the Green Goblin, and Doctor Doom. So I guess those four.
That's great. Yeah, I'm a big
And then
Magneto fan.
Galactus kind of went back in the list since I got the big figure, and you're like, I like this guy actually.
So I guess in terms of this, you kind of just answer, but Marvel or DC? When it comes to comics, you're saying mostly DC.
Mostly DC and movies. Well, Marvel definitely does it better
Yeah, I would have to
so
agree
far.
there. Yeah. Um, Favorite Ninja Turtle?
That changes actually. I realized I was chatting about it with the Adventures in Collecting podcast guys.
Yep.
When I was a kid, it was Raphael. It was always Raphael. I had the figure of Raphael was the one I brought everywhere. I lost one in a river near Nice in France. I was impossible to. I was crying for days, and all my dad had to find one somewhere so that I would stop and all. But then, as I grew up, I kind of prefer Donatello now because he's the guy that makes the cool machines and all that.
And Donnie does machines.
Yeah. And then, of course, Michelangelo, being the funny one, should be the one I gravitate towards, but in the end, I don't. I prefer Donatello to him.
Yeah,
And
I'm a big
Leonardo,
Donnie.
well, nobody likes Leonardo anyway, so.
Thank you. Only figure fan Nate likes Donatello. Or likes Leonardo, I mean, sorry. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Donnie and Raph are my two, but I do like Michelangelo too. But if I was gonna narrow it down, it'd be Donnie and Raph for sure. The way to go.
Can't
Just like
wait to see the Seth Rogen stuff because
Me too.
so far Seth Rogen has done Invincible, which was great.
Yeah.
He has done the Preacher series, which was great. So he knows his comic book stuff.
Yeah. And he's a fan of the source material too, so
of course,
that
yeah.
translate
The
well.
Mirage comics rather than the cartoon. Yeah.
Yep.
Should be good.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. Yeah, for sure. Favorite toy line?
That varies because, well, obviously, I would say DC Direct, DC Collectibles, because I have most of the stuff behind me right now. But these days, for example, I had a big kick on Mythic Legions because of Ryan Carperd, which is in the chat recently. So I was like buying a few and all, being like, hey, those are nice figures. And all. They're going to have the Cosmic Legion soon, which is like the same thing in space that talks even more to me. There's the Savage Crucible stuff, which is a Kickstarter right
Awesome.
now that looks pretty
Not
good. So I'm like,
surprised that that was so successful right out of the gate, man. Those
yeah,
things look
exactly.
beautiful. They look beautiful.
So
Yeah,
like
I need
it
to be here.
varies depending on what's coming out, basically. But in general, yeah, DC Direct used to be my go-to. I
Your
was
go-to.
buying all the DC Batman animated series figures and all that back
Yep.
then. I like the Batwing up there, the Batmobile and all.
Yeah, that's
Batcave.
awesome. That wing looks huge. It's
Those
pretty
were
cool.
really good figures. I really love them.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I'm not super familiar with the line, so I kind of know them when I see them, but well, actually that's not true because there's lots of times where someone's like, "Oh, that's a DC Direct." I'm like, "Oh, really? Okay." Could have fooled me.
Well, even the McFarlane toy stuff right now, he does some pretty cool stuff. Like
Yeah.
everybody
Yeah,
just hates on him because it's the fashion
yes.
these days, but he does good
Yes.
stuff. And without him, there
You know,
wouldn't be NECA, Super 7, or anything today. So
that's that's a fair point. Actually, it's funny because
he's the goat.
I've never actually handled a McFarlane figure because I just
Hmm.
obviously I just don't collect DC and the scale and but last week, kind of on a whim, I was looking for a part for a custom. Oh, my friend's not watching. I'm making a custom for a friend. I won't say what it is, but basically, I was
Hmm.
looking for like an anime style like face. Like I need a head because I don't really collect
Yeah.
any anime stuff. So I bought a Last Airbender McFarlane figure for a parts,
Okay.
and I
Which
took
is
it out,
not
and
an
I was
anime, but okay.
yeah, I know, but I mean, it kind of has the stylized look that I was
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of looking for.
Well, he
But
has the
like
My Hero Academia figures, otherwise, which are like
mm,
anime style more as well.
in the end, the scale was just too out of. I ended up returning it because like it was just
Oh, okay.
it's too out of scale for what I'm using. But yeah, I was actually pretty surprised at how well it moved because I'd never actually handled a McFarlane figure before, and I was like, oh wow, this like is pretty. It surprisingly moves pretty well. So
Yeah, they have double joints and app crunch and all the stuff that everybody wants,
yep,
but doesn't get the because one YouTube guy said it was bad, everybody has to say it's bad or something. I don't know how it started, but it's just weird. And even if when he made statues that were not articulated, what if the statues are nice? Like, what if some people
yeah.
like them? Like,
Hey, some people like statues. There's nothing wrong with that, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
especially a statue for like $29 or $40.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's way better than like having to pay
Yeah.
a thousand five hundred euro for a Prime One or something.
Totally.
I'd
I
rather
mean, the
take the
thing is,
40
just like
bucks
you
one.
can't deny the sculpt work's all there. Like,
Yeah.
he's a very talented sculpting team, and yeah. So yeah, I don't. I have no hatred against. I don't collect it, but yeah,
Mhm.
I was pretty surprised, especially because, like you said, there is quite a bit of negativity surrounding McFarlane,
Yeah.
and you know, opening that figure, I was kind of expecting one thing, and then when I had it in hand, I was like, oh, this is like not.
Yeah.
This is not really what I was expecting.
I've been
So yeah,
lied to.
I've been fed all this misinformation.
Deception.
Southtown Pain Apps is joining and saying, "What up, friends? Showing support as always. Thank you, man, for being here." Jordan from Canada says, "Michelangelo is my spirit animal, but watching it back, man, man, does Donatello ball them out of situation? Hell yeah,
Yeah.
he does. He does machines, folks. He does them." Here's a question for you, Toy Farce. What do you appreciate? What do you appreciate Green Lantern? What do you appreciate Green Lantern? He's a great title. I wish more people got into him. I don't know if that was meant to be a question. Why do you like
What do
Green
you
Lantern? Maybe
appreciate
he's asking.
about Green Lantern, I imagine?
Yeah.
Well, it's at least my favorite one would be a Hal Jordan. And yeah, there's been some excellent comic books back in the when there was the Sinestro Corps War and the Blackest Night huge event where the Green Lantern was like the main focus of the whole storyline there. There was some excellent stuff, and they opened up the universe where there is more than just green and yellow lanterns now. Like there's a whole
Yeah, there's like
rainbow
a
of
whole rainbow of them.
colors, so many
I
good
sense that I
characters and all that.
smell a meme coming.
Yeah,
Something to
actually,
do with Skittles. Yeah.
like, get a free ring when you buy.
um, Figurama, I have to agree with you on this actually. McFarlane said McFarlane not the greatest anymore, but the new Nolan trilogy figures look nice. When I saw those Nolan figures get shown, it was like the first time ever that I was like, Do I get some of
Hey.
these? I mean, I think the thing I like about it is it's like you can just get a small little collection all at once,
Yeah,
and it's
just
just
5
like
figures,
I
like
could get
4 plus
Batman.
the Build-A-Figure.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I could go without Scarecrow to be honest, but like that
Ah, come
Joker.
on.
I love that little stack of money that Joker comes with. It's so cool.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
it's
a nice
so cool.
accessory to have for
Yeah,
photos or display.
I've been buying more figures, especially like not in. I don't want to in any way make anyone think that my toy photography is in any way decent, but the
Oh,
I've
same.
been I've been having more fun with it as of late because I'm starting to like learn little things about lighting, and as I've kind of learned more stuff, I'm now finding myself looking at figures because of the accessories they come with, and I'm like,
Hmm.
what can I use that figure for if I want to buy it just for its accessories?
And
Yeah.
now they even sell just accessory sets where you get just
I know, I
accessories.
love it. I love it. NYC Figure Fanatic says, "Yeah, Legions. Matt needs to join the cult." I can't, dude. To be honest, as much as Mythic Legions look cool, it's not playing to something I'm into. I'm not really into like mythical stuff. I'm not a Lord of the Rings guy. I don't really do knights. I don't like Robin Hood and King Arthur and all that stuff. Not really my jam. But I will say that it was pretty difficult to say no to the cosmic stuff because there is a handful of that Cosmic Legion stuff that I was like, man,
Yep.
they're making it pretty difficult to turn my back on. I held strong, but yeah, it looks pretty damn sharp.
I
So
used to
they've
say
only
that, and
shown the
now I have
first,
like what, a dozen? So
they've only shown the first wave of Cosmic, right? Just that first
there's
initial.
two. There was a first wave and then a second wave where there's only like 5 figures
Okay.
that comes out later on.
Okay. When does that stuff supposed to drop? It's supposed to be this year, isn't it?
I think, yeah, in end of spring or early summer this year. The first
Cool.
wave, at least.
I will watch from afar. I find myself doing more of that as of late. So we'll get into some of that stuff in a minute here. Ryan Carver says Toy Farce is so tall he has to walk through his house like Gandalf when he visits a hobbit.
Yeah. The Detolf are actually like just behind me. I'm just really tall next to them. Like ceilings.
Marcus says I clown McFarlane toys from time to time, but their figures have some hits.
Yeah.
I
The
think the thing I like
White
about
Knight
this,
Batman is still one of their best figures that they had, and it was like in the third wave they ever made in
nice.
2020. So
I probably couldn't identify that in a lineup, but yeah, the thing I
it's
like
from a
about
comic book
McFarlane
by
is
Sean Murphy, which has a very, very, like, he has his own style, and the figure is exactly that style.
oh,
So
cool.
it really looks great, just out of the
Nice.
comic book.
That's one thing where I will give McFarlane credit is I like that he maintains the art style from a lot of these stories. I think it's nice to see. It's like Mafex, right? I think Mafex
Tries to, at least, yeah, because the Jim Lee Hush Batman,
not as much.
the Mafex was better.
Yeah, I love the Mafex stuff because I feel like it's very artist specific. So
yeah, they are so good.
Star Marble says I would spend every cent on McFarlane if it was 1/12. That's fair.
7-inch scale or whatever he calls it.
I can't do the 7-inch scale, but I shouldn't say that because the WWE stuff is 7-inch.
Yeah, same with NECA. Also,
Yeah, I guess that's
they're
true.
pretty
Yeah,
much the same size. So
NECA
I guess I have more
movie
7-inch
turtles
scale
are
stuff
gonna.
then.
Yeah, NECA movie turtles are gonna share a shelf in my new setup with my WWE stuff, so that they look like they.
Nice.
Yeah. So.
Is it you get only Attitude Era WWE stuff, right?
I really like the Attitude Era stuff, but I really like New Generation probably the best. I think I was most into wrestling at Attitude Era, but like my real nostalgic love is like Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon, Diesel, that whole crew, right? And I do like I do like Macho Man, and I was a big fan of the Rockers. I was a big fan of Brutus Beefcake, Ultimate Warrior. So yeah, honestly, everything from like 87 to 2000 I'm pretty much on board with. I'm not picking up everything, but there's definitely
there's a lot as well.
There's a lot, and I'm trying to restrict myself to Ultimate Editions only. That rule failed pretty quick, but but yeah, I like the Ultimate Edition ones. I like the added articulation. It's nice. So yeah.
I can't wait for the AJ Styles coming out soon.
You don't have to answer that. we can leave that one unless you want to. But McFarlane, honestly, is so good for the price. Most of them are still $19.99, even if some are wonky. Yeah, that's one thing you can't really deny is the price point's pretty damn good. So
yeah, still keeping it under $20. So.
I know it's good. McFarlane gets a bad rep because of all the exposed ball joints, lack of articulation, inaccurate scale, but some are still really cool. But I mean, this is just from somebody who's looking from the outside in. I feel like the one thing that I have always given McFarlane credit on is I feel like he's pretty good at listening to that feedback, because I know the exposed ball joints used to be a pretty big issue, but like on that last Airbender figure, don't ask me which figure it was because I literally could never tell you. Like
me neither.
they do a really good job at hiding that stuff. It seems, at least on the figure that I had, like, you know, they're pretty well integrated into the sculpt. So, you know, oh shit, look who's here. What up, Kev?
Hello there.
If I had my soundboard working, I could do it. I'm still trying to figure out. My wife bought me a Stream Deck for my birthday, and I've been like trying to figure out. I'm not quite there. I'm so stupid with.
Oh yeah, happy belated birthday! I saw like you had a great party for your birthday.
I had
it was a bingo game and everything.
It was, yes, the bingo. That was so fun. My wife's very creative. She's such a creative person. Yeah, she made a bingo card for all of my family that was there to celebrate with us. It was just direct family, kind of, 5 or 6 people, but she made a bingo card of all my mannerisms, and every time I do it, everyone checked it off, and at the end, the winner, whoever caught the most of my mannerisms in action, got a prize, which I thought was pretty funny. The free space was like, Matt falls asleep on the couch.
In front of a movie.
That's the free space. Matt describes a meme. I'm pretty sure I've already done that on this stream tonight. So maybe we can incorporate that something as an interactive game for everybody here. So, but yeah, aside from that, I had like the last Wednesday's live stream. Oh my god, man, I had so much fun. The chat was popping.
Fun, yeah.
Oh my god, we were having such a good time. It was so fun, and we had some really great discussions.
Milk Media. Like,
you
guys are having a fun
the
banter together.
Yeah, well, like we've been besties for a long time, right? We've been best friends for I don't know, over 20 years. So yeah, so I mean, it kind of just naturally happens because that's just us, right? We pretty much just fuck with each other, and yeah, it's pretty fun. So
from what he said last week, if you meet Moose Milk Media or Matt at any convention, they will give you a free hand job if you subscribe to their channel. They said, so
that's right.
Please do that.
Proof of purchase necessary, but we're here for it. We're not fucking around. Seriously, we're ready to grow in multiple ways. NYC Figure Fanatic says, I'm not into mythical stories either. I fell into Mythic Legions because of the love of action figures. The sculpt and paint apps are untouchable. Yeah, I haven't actually had one in hand, so maybe I'd change my mind if I saw them. I know they're also really customizable, aren't they?
Yeah, all the parts you can pop and swap with every other figure, so you can make your own.
Love that.
Like it's like a dream brand for a customizer.
That's awesome. All right, we could keep going. There's so many comments. I'm trying to keep up, but it's just not happening. So Marcus says the stream stopped working for me. I just got back in just to hear hand jobs. See, we're still talking about the same shit we were last week, Marcus. It's the way it is. I wanted to actually pull up your Instagram page, and just to kind of show anybody who maybe, I don't know if there's anyone here who doesn't know you or what you do, but I thought it would be fun to kind of go through some of these. I noticed that you posted this. Was this today or yesterday? I guess yesterday for you, right?
Well, today for you and yesterday evening for me.
So you did your review on the 4-pack and the accessory pack. I didn't get the accessories. How do you like them? Oops, that's a funny one.
I got it mostly for a couple of the accessories are nice, but there is the Toka and Razar as like a dog and
the
a
baby
turtle.
ones.
Yeah. I was like, I need to have them next to the Toka and Razar on the shelf, so I need that accessory set. There's always like one of the parts that you're like, that's the one I want.
I ended up skipping the accessory set, but I got the 4-pack of the Secret of the Ooze because I wanted to buy Shredder. I was gonna buy Shredder. I was gonna skip the turtles, and then once they had both available on the NECA store, I was like, what the hell? I'll just combine. I mean, at least I'm getting good shipping. Then like
Then you
it's kind
also
of
need
split the
the
shipping.
Ultimate Shredder, which is Kevin Nash as well. Diesel.
I got that. I have that. He's
Okay.
in my display. But I bought the second set of turtles to put in my office at work because I'm like, these are great. They're too cool to not have a set. So
Yeah. In
they're
the
awesome.
in the review, I have pics of the ones from the first movie and those ones next to each
Side by
other, and
side.
I didn't realize that those are really that much better than the first ones, because I always thought the first one were like a great, like the ultimate figures, let's say, for the turtles. And those new ones, they have somehow like the head is slightly smaller, they have bigger shoulders or something. There's like something about the proportion that they look better,
That makes them
really.
look
For
better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw some side by side pics when Trevor from NECA was kind of showing them off, right? Like, you know, when they first kind of announced them, and maybe it wasn't, maybe it was Blaine, maybe I can't remember. But yeah, but I was like, oh wow, there's quite a bit of difference. The shells are different, and
yeah.
So I like that Mikey has his belt loops for the chucks too, which is really nice.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice
And
to
it
have a
comes
place
with
to kind of put
the
those.
cold cut
I love the
nunchucks.
cold cut. That's so good. That's so good. But yeah, then you got like, you know, you got gems like, you know, just fun little things like these. You've got
Yeah, I do.
you know,
I do
the
memes on
silly
Tuesdays.
the silly stuff like this.
That's still one
man.
of the ones that a lot of people still mention to this day, or like to this day.
It's so funny, man. It's so funny. I see a lot of hate on this guy's face here. What's this? This is Dusty, right? Is this Dusty? I don't know. I don't GI Joe at all. But Falcon,
I think it's Falcon.
Fuck, so
I put
funny,
Flint,
dude.
and someone corrected me. No, that's Falcon. I was like, okay, fine.
Oh my god!
It comes
I love
with a
it
carousel
so
part.
much.
That's nice. If
I
you buy
love
like
it
8,
so
you can
much.
put them in a circle.
I can't remember who was saying this. I can't remember if it was the Toy Migos, maybe. I mean, they may have seen it on your thing and maybe just made a comment, but oh god. Yeah, so if you guys aren't following Toy Farce, this is another good one too. Toy accessories still MI after all these years. The carpet monster, the dreaded carpet monster. I love it, man. Yeah, you always have me cracking up. Like I'm just, yeah, so good, so freaking good, man. So thank you for all the. This is another good one too with the tank, the thunder tank, all the different
if you want
options
to hide
for.
it. Like you can store it in your apartment. Like, no, that's
man.
totally.
That's definitely not a toy. It's definitely
no,
not
of course
toy.
not. I didn't pay $400 for that. No.
It's just the new lawnmower. It's so good. I love it, man. So yeah, so you guys, if you're not following Toy Farce, go show them some love. You won't regret it. It's a great thing to wake up to and have a laugh. It's funny because I mean I share it with a lot of my friends like that I kind of chat with on a daily basis. But you know, I'll show stuff to my wife and she's just like, you have way too much time, and so does whoever's like putting this stuff together. It's just like it's all for the love of the hobby, you know? It's all for the love of the hobby.
Sometimes I have an idea that pops up or something, and I try to explain it to my girlfriend, and she's like, "What? Is that
like you have to
supposed
live
to be
it?
Funny? Like, yeah, it's really funny. You'll see."
You have to live it to really understand it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So like, what inspired you? You said that your first thing you kind of started with was like that Boba Fett spray painting the Boba Fett silver, but like, is that where it all kind of began, or was like, have you kind of always had like I guess like, you know, of your friend group, like, are you like the funny one? Like, are you the guy that everyone's like, he's the funny one of the group, you know? Like,
I guess I was the class clown growing up, and I have a group of friends where we were all funny ones, actually. So it's like always kind of, you know, make a joke, another one makes another one comes.
It's all built on top of each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally.
So yeah, I have I guess personally, I think I have a good sense of humor, and for the toy stuff, well, I've been collecting since I was a kid, and I'm a second generation superstar toy collector. My parents collected toys too. My father was collecting the Star Wars figures, the vintage one, when I was a kid growing up. And my mom, the little Smurfs, you know, the blue
the little vinyl
PVC figures.
Oh
Yeah, she
yeah,
has
those are
like
so
300
cool.
of them. She has all of them.
Oh what? I used to
And
remember. I never collected the Smurfs, but the California raisins. I was a
yeah, the
huge.
small one. Yeah.
Oh, I love those California raisins figures. Or they weren't figures, I guess. They're just little
Are they the
statues or
same
whatever.
brand?
But
Is it like Schleich or some German brand or something,
yeah,
or is it
I don't
another one?
remember. I don't have that
Okay.
good a memory. I have pothead memory, so
That
things
and
leave me.
ET as well. My mom collects. Well, my mom and dad collected ET figures and stuff, and all the memorabilia. I grew up with a life-size ET in my living room.
Oh,
That
cool.
explains a lot of trauma. And
Oh, that's great.
yeah, I guess at some point I connected the dots of like, hey, toy collecting and humor could actually make something work. And I also like The Onion, Hard Times, and all the parody news websites.
Yep, the Onion's
I
great.
realized the other day I even had a parody band when I was growing up. Like, like we were making like parodies of songs and all, like, and not like Weird Al, obviously, but kind of the
Just joke
same.
stuff. Well, it's like kind of like
Yeah,
do you like Bo Burnham? Like kind of does kind of like more like comedy style music,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's a
Just
kind of a
making
good
fun of a
segue.
genre of music, like
Yeah,
using all the cliches of it and like exaggerating everything.
totally. So
Like you,
I said this to you before we kind of started, but like so for anybody who doesn't know, Toy Farce is a musician. For anybody who doesn't know, I was a musician. The difference is he was saying to me before that he hasn't really been in a band for his band's been inactive for the last couple of years. But I mean, I literally haven't picked up an instrument in 7 or 8 years probably. It's been a minute.
whoa,
Yeah, it's been a while. I mean, the thing is like I was never I was a self-taught musician as well. I remember you had said that you were as well.
yeah,
But
same.
like for me, it was like I've never been a strong like musician. Music hasn't really been a talent that like came naturally to me. It was something that I kind of needed someone else to kind of go along with. So like
Yeah,
one of my goals for this year that got bumped because I wanted to prioritize other goals was I really wanted to get back into trying to I really wanted to like write like a theme song for the live stream. That was
for
kind
the
of
show,
my
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So
that could be
I
something
may
fun.
still
Yeah,
eventually do something like that, but I wanted to switch my focus because I really want to learn how to do digital sculpting this year. So that's kind of going to be my thing for this year. But
with a
yeah. So you
Blender, or which program are you gonna use for?
I'm still undecided. I'm probably going to
Okay,
dabble a little bit in both and kind of see. Actually, last week NYC Figure Fanatic and I were kind of talking about it.
yeah,
And because he's kind of getting into it as well. So, and then my buddy Draven has, recently gotten into it. So, I'm probably going to lean on some of my friends who do it.
yeah,
I see the benefit, especially after getting that head sculpt done of me that I had that guy
yeah.
do
That looked
for me.
awesome.
Oh my
Yeah,
God, it turned out so good. It turned out so
yeah.
good. So yeah, so once I kind of started dabbling with that, and then I had one of my good friends print it for me, and like as he was kind of showing me like stuff that he was kind of printing along with it, I was just like, man, I totally
This
see
is
the
the future.
benefit. Yeah, I totally
Yeah,
see the benefit of having this. Like, even when it comes to sculpting, it's like things like symmetry. Like
yeah,
I make this awesome knee pad on one side, and I got to make the exact same thing on the other. It's like extremely daunting to think about, right? So
yeah.
um yeah, so I mean like it's in that realm. I'm just like I could see this being totally beneficial to know and have access to. So yeah, I've kind of come around on it. I for the while there I was like, nah, I'm never gonna get into that. But then once I could really see how beneficial it could be, I was like, oh, hmm, maybe
Yeah. Then when
maybe I
you get
should try to dabble.
yeah. When you get really good at it, then you can even print like just the parts that you want to sculpt on the figure. You print just the part and then you just glue it on it or something.
Yeah, yeah. D said Andrew and I are using Blender now. Join in on learning. I should do that for
There
sure.
you
Andrew's
go.
one of our local friends who makes crazy toys. This you should see this guy's stuff. He doesn't do anything on social media, which is a bummer because he made a 7-foot Sentinel or a 6-foot Sentinel out of a mannequin.
Wow.
It's crazy. It's
That's cool.
crazy. And then he put all his X-Men on it, and like that's like his X-Men display or
Yeah, yeah.
whatever. It's so
Yeah,
cool.
that
It's so
sounds
cool.
pretty great.
And I remember one summer, me and D always make jokes about it because one summer he was like, he doesn't share like regularly like the rest of us do, and then he'll just all of a sudden like photo dump on us and like, here's like 50 things I've been working on. And one summer he was just like, check it out, I made every single battle beast. Remember battle beasts, that things that had those hologram stickers on the chest that when you put it underwater it
the
would show like a
small
fire.
figures.
Yeah, so he made all of those in 6-inch scale, all of them, 40 of them.
From
There you go, he
scratch,
made
like
all the battle beasts.
sculpting, or just
No,
with
he just kit bashed
3D
pieces.
printing?
No, he just
Oh.
kit bashed pieces of existing lines together. He did some sculpting and stuff,
Wow.
but it was
That
just
sounds
like
awesome.
out of nowhere. He's like, "Oh, this is what I've been working on this summer," and we're like, where the fuck? Where did that come from? Like, you're not gonna share that shit? Like, we're all nerds here. Like, what are you doing?
And you just have like one figure that you've been working on for 2 months, and you just show it, and it's like, here's what I did. There's like 50 of them.
It's like, I'm showing my steps. I'm like, look at all the sculpting I did this week. There's 4 sessions. He's like, cool, I made 50 battle beasts. Like, what the fuck? Look at this.
In my
He says a giant transformer display, which was also a transformer.
Yeah, that's
crazy, man.
This guy should get a job in Hasbro or something, if he can actually make a transform.
Crazy. Well, he one time he did this thing for like a local like museum, and it was like a display about like bees, and he made these giant killer bees, like they're huge, right? And he made like 3 of them, and then he took a picture of him, like looks like he's getting attacked by these bees, and like, man, it's crazy, dude. It's bonkers. And I'm like, you need to get on social media, because like you need to share that shit with the world.
Yeah, that would be cool.
So
what's his reason
we talked
for not sharing it? Like he's just like
I
shy
think he's
or
just
humble, or
I bet you it's a little bit of both, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know. In terms of music, like what kind of stuff are you mostly into? I can imagine you're probably, a little bit into everything, but is there a kind of a genre that either like got you into music? How long have you been playing music?
The funny thing, I was just thinking about that before we got in, like to talk about music. I've been my tastes of music have been actually influenced by Todd McFarlane as well.
Oh wow!
Like when I was a kid, he made figures. Well, that was in the mid 90s or late 90s. He made the Kiss figures, and I was like, those figures look cool. And my dad was like, it's a band, right? And I was like, no. And he made me listen to Kiss. I was like, okay, I kind of like hard rock, I guess now. Like as a 12-year-old.
Well, didn't he make an Ozzy Osbourne with like a crow head bitten off or something like that too?
Or the cover of one of the albums where he's like in a church or something. I don't remember the name of the album. Sorry, Ozzy. I know you're watching.
Yeah, that's right. He's definitely around.
Then he made Iron Maiden figures. He made the Metallica scene, the whole stage with like all 4 members playing. He made the Motley Crue set and all, and I was like, those are all bands that I ended up liking without McFarlane, but still ended up gravitating towards in the end. And growing up, I was mostly into rock, metal, and stuff like that. As I grew up, I added hip hop and electronica and all more stuff. Like there's good stuff in every genre of music. You don't have to just limit yourself to one. Like there's really good stuff in every kind. And there's bad stuff also, a lot of it in every genre.
Sure is.
Like you can say, I like metal and you like every band. No, there's a lot of bands that suck bad. Like even if you like hip hop, there's probably lots of bands that sucks as well. So
do you ever find yourself going back to music you were really into, like even 10 years ago, and being like, what was I listening to? It happens to me a lot. There's still a lot of bands that I like. Sometimes, nowadays. Yeah, nowadays I find that like I used to be way more into like finding new bands, and now I'm like, I have enough music. I'm good. Like it's I read
something about that recently actually, and it was funny that you discover music the first like 27 years of your life or something like that, and after that you just go back to stuff that you discovered during that period, but you never really add new stuff. And I was like, that's kind of weirdly true.
Yeah, it is true. Very true.
Because the stuff that come out, the new stuff, there's nothing that sounds good. I'm sorry, but
it just doesn't catch you, right?
Exactly, not the same way, at least.
Yeah, same here.
So
I like I still listen to all the bands I listened to back, a lot of them anyways, still.
Yeah,
So it's like when they put new music out, I still listen to it. I don't always get into it as much, but I still
exactly. Yeah.
listen to it. But like, yeah, if I'm discovering one new band a year at this point, like that's surprising. I just whether it's I don't have the time or I just don't care enough to invest in it, It's just I have such a wide variety of options to already choose from. It's hard to then
true.
pick something else,
There's also that. But
So,
it's
yeah.
kind of crazy. Like, for example, the Beatles or the Rolling Stones, they were there like since the 60s and all. And there hasn't been exactly a band since then that has grew up as big as they were back then. It's kind of sad as a culture and all that that we haven't managed to have a huge global phenomenon in terms of music since.
You know what though? I think I actually was listening to Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend, and they were talking about the Beatles, and he kind of made a really good. I can't remember the guest the week that he was talking about it, but he kind of said something in vain of like the reason we've never had that is because there's no like moment now where like someone shows up on the scene and you're just like you've never heard of them before. The way that we have access to information now, the way we have access to music, like you'll never have a time where it's just like the Beatles,
everybody's on the same
the Rolling
thing.
Stones, like it's like everyone comes equipped with like a following.
I've listened to that
degree.
one. He was saying back then people had just one radio at home and they listen what's on the radio and that's it. But nowadays we have Spotify where we can choose like whatever we want from, and also we basically the big bands that worked then, it's because people didn't have a choice and just listened to that anyway.
They were shoveled it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, but I mean, even for me, like I used to find a lot of the bands. I used to go to a lot. I mean, I still, to be honest, not post COVID, but like prior to COVID, like I still go to quite a few shows. I think the last 2 years before COVID, I probably went to between like 10 and 15 shows in a year, like concerts, like
same
in a year. So yeah, so like I still spend a good chunk of money on concerts. But like my concert experience is very different as a mid 30s person, or now approaching closer to 40. But
now
like,
you stand in the back a bit, like just
Yep. I mean, I was always kind of in the back, but I mean, the difference was back in the day, I would look forward to getting there, checking out the opening bands, hopefully finding a new band that's going to be kind of my jam. Now it's like I call, hey, what time is band I want to see on at? 8:05? Okay, I'll be there at 8:05.
I did that a couple of weeks ago. Like, they start at 9. Well, we don't go there before 9. Then, like, there's 3 bands playing first. Like, it's okay.
Not interested. Yeah, not interested. So yeah, very different. And then of course by the end, I'm just like, even like I remember like being at a concert and one of the band members actually saying like the difference about playing in a band now versus when we were younger was. He's like, man, did our backs always hurt like this? Like, I don't remember playing a show and by the end being like, oh, my back, my lower back.
I think it was the Korn guy that had like a chiropractor in the back for after the show so that they put them back together because they're just like hanging forward.
I remember skateboarding to Korn in the summer of 98. 98?
Yeah. So which album? The first one? Like Blind?
Yep. And then I got into the second one. What was it called? The second one that had Freak on a Leash was the one that was the first one I got to be. Life is Peachy. That was the first one I got to like be excited for. I remember. So that was like Limp Bizkit.
It hasn't happened in a while.
I listened to
waiting for a new
couple
album.
Korn.
Like, yes.
Yeah. They're not active anymore, are they?
I think they are still. Like they made like a dozen albums in the last 10 years or something, and you're like, really?
Crazy. That's crazy how things just kind of come in and out, eh? I mean, I guess they probably have their following who kind of hang around, but
yeah. They had an album with Skrillex or something like that, like a dubstep album even, that you're like, really?
Weird. So sorry, how long have you been playing music for?
I guess I was singing in bands when I was like 15.
Okay.
And then I started to play bass and sing, and then the bassist left, and one of the guitarists left. We found a new bassist, so I just picked up a guitar instead and basically played what I played on the bass. But instead of holding just one string, you just hold like 3 strings. That's the same thing for me, at least. Just rhythm stuff and all that. So I played guitar, and and all that over the years. So that would be 20 plus years now,
Damn,
since I'm in my mid 30s as well.
that's crazy, eh? Time freaking
Yeah,
flies.
that sounds like way too much.
I had one of my old bandmates reach out to me last year, and he was like, "Hey, he's like, I kind of want to do like piecemeal, like music together, like trying to find a couple guys to like, record stuff and pass it back and
Yeah.
forth and kind of like build off of." He's like, "Are you interested?" And I was like, "No,
Okay.
not interested." I mean, for me, it's just like it's a time thing, right? And it's like I
Yeah,
dedicate a
yeah.
lot of my free time to customizing, and
Hmm.
I that's kind of where I live these days. It's my extra time is spent on the desk and just working away at things, right? So
What
yeah, and
about you?
then
You were
now,
playing bass, you said earlier.
yep, yeah,
Any
bass,
other?
always bass. No,
Okay.
no. I mean, I picked up an acoustic. I kind of got into this band called the Early November, kind of like a acoustic, kind of like emo-y kind of band. And there was like a very short while where like I was trying to play acoustic, but like I don't have good control over my fingers,
Yeah.
and it just never
I
really
don't get
worked.
the guys
So
that have like 12 string guitars or bass
oh
that you're like, that's already way too much.
yeah, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. Even when I pick up a guitar now, it's like it's pretty dicey. So yeah, I mean, honestly, even as a bassist, like I never really yeah, I always said to everybody like what I was good for in a band was like I could be your stand-in bassist, like but like I was known as the
On the
biz. That's what
bench.
everyone called me. They called me the biz because I was good at like managing. So it's like I booked
Uh-huh.
shows, I helped book tours, I did all the merch, I did the web page, I
Oh, nice.
kind of
Okay.
coordinated all that stuff. So, usually when people were reaching out to me to want to be part of something, it was because I came with that side of it, right? And it was and like to be honest, like not a super talented bassist, like I could get by, but like I was also like a showman. So like I like to put on a good show. When I'm on
Yeah,
stage,
same.
I generally rock out. Like I'm jumping all over the place. I'm throwing my bass around. So like I'm generally that's really what I became more known for than anything else, was just like the guy who was like throwing his bass around
You're
his
the
neck. And
the manager stuff, yeah.
yeah, and that
Manager
both
bassist.
both both aspects. But no, I was never really like a talented musician per se. I don't think anyway. So I could get by, but that was about it.
Yeah, yeah. Same, I guess. Like I
Yeah.
don't have a multi-million platinum albums or anything, so I guess.
Well, I always said the only thing that would probably ever make me pick up an instrument again on a regular basis if I could find like a cover band to be in. Because like to me, like I
Yeah.
just love. I'm so over. So there's this band I really like called Midtown, and they're like a pop punk band, and they just recently got back together after like 15 years to just do like a little reunion tour, and they must have had a good time
Oh,
doing
cool.
it because they
Yeah.
decided they're going to put out a new album. But what they pretty much said right off the bat was, we're too old to write new music. We're just going to record cover songs of bands that we love. So
Yeah,
they
in
just
their
put
own
out
style.
a yeah,
That's
in
cool.
their style. Yeah. So they just put out a one song off of their new EP. I think it's an EP of cover songs. They covered like a Lagwagon song, and like I'm freaking
Cool.
obsessed with it. So but it's just cool because it's like I get
Nice.
new music, but it's familiar music, so it's like even easier for me to digest because it's
Yeah.
like and it's like that Early November band I was just talking about, like when I was really into them, they put out a lot of like demos that like were just acoustic guitar and like never really did anything with them. And then
Hmm.
for their 20th anniversary last year, they went
Damn,
back
20
and
years.
I know. They went back and recorded a lot of those acoustics as like full band songs.
Nice.
And it was
Yeah.
like, so like all of a sudden we got all these old B-sides that never got released as like full proper songs. And it was fucking amazing because I was like,
Yeah,
yes.
that's like Metallica is doing the same thing now. They're gonna
Oh,
release
really?
B-sides from back then and all that. So it's like it's always nice to re-record old stuff and realize like, hey, we
Totally.
had good songs back then.
Yeah, totally. It's always cool to see that kind of stuff happen. So,
There's also like at
um,
least here in Finland, cover bands like they usually make good money because they play like 5 6 nights in a row in a
mm,
pub or something like that. It's
yeah,
usually like a lot of time, but then you get a lot of stuff done, so that's pretty cool.
the thing is you see a band like a lot of those cover band. Like I went to a wedding in the summer, and it was like right on the. It was like on a dock in front of like the waterfront, right? And they were playing like a mix. They started their set with like kind of all like Motown, so like older like 70s,
Nice.
60s, 70s kind of Motown,
Mm-hmm.
and then they moved into like 2000s, and they were doing kind of like dance, like kind of like dance music, but like
Mm-hmm.
with like kind of like a touch of like a rock kind of sound, because they were doing it with all like guitars and bass and drums rather than all electric.
Yeah.
And like, man, as I was watching them, I was just like getting the itch. I'm just like, dude,
Yeah.
I want to play in a cover band so bad. Be
There was
so fun.
one of my best friend, which was the drummer of my band back then as well. He's in a cover band, and he said once they were in a pub, they played the whole night, like all the classics and all that. And at the end of the evening, there was a woman that was sitting in the pub, a bit drunk, that came to see them and was like, "You guys must be so famous because all the songs that you played, I've heard them on the radio."
I hope he leaned into that.
That's a
He's
cover
like,
band.
yes.
Yes, of course.
Yes, I am Paul McCartney.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah. Michael Jackson as well.
Yeah, that's right. What's up, Jack Customs? How you doing, man? Thanks for swinging by. So slightly switching topics here. In terms of, I like to kind of ask. I've asked a few people this that I've had on the show. I noticed the trend of a lot of people in our community starting to kind of set goals around their collections for the new year. Did you kind of set any goals for yourself in terms of what you're buying, how you're buying for the year, and if so, how's that going?
Well, every year you start and you're like, okay, this year I try to spend a bit less and all, and then you get to like February or March and you've already spent as much as the previous year.
It's too late. It's too late.
So those are resolutions that nobody ever keeps.
I gotta tell you, man, I'm pretty proud of myself this year. I've been doing a good job at just saying no to a lot of stuff.
If 2 empty shelves behind you, that's what?
And another one back here as well that you can't see up here. So yeah, so it's I've been good, and like to be honest, like it's been easier as of late just with the price hikes. Like to be honest, it's I've been questioning a lot of my purchases more as of late. Just because of that, right? Like even today, looking at some of those reveals we saw today, did you catch any of those? Do you collect much in terms of Marvel Legends? They said you Spider-Man, right?
I have a few, yeah. I not as much as DC, for example. Obviously, I have just Galactus and his 3 heralds he came with. I have Doctor Doom, Magneto, and the Green Goblin, which are tattooed on my leg. That's why I bought them.
Fair enough.
and the few last one I bought was the Venom with the cartoon, like the blue and red lines
Oh,
everywhere
yes.
and all that, because it looks pretty cool.
I like it.
But otherwise, yeah, I don't buy everything. I also got the zombies one, the Iron Man, Captain America, and Scarlet Witch.
I like that Captain America a lot.
They kind of look great as zombies. But otherwise, not into much big into Marvel Legends. But some of the announcement, the Aunt May figures, I was like, oh.
I know. I'm waiting for them to do an Ultimate Iron Man. Yeah. Or, I mean, to be honest with you, if they did Ultimate X-Men, I would fucking shit, man.
Yeah, that would be
so
cool.
Excited about that. I love those
Any of the Ultimate,
X-Men
even
books.
the Spider-Man with like Mark Bagley kind of eyes and
that
all
style,
that.
The big eyes, that'd be cool. The old one they did was okay, but it's just a little underwhelming because you don't get the butterflies, it's just...
I like also the animated series figures they made with the VHS boxes. Like I got the Wolverine, the Magneto, the Sinister, Mr. Sinister, and
nice
Apocalypse, because he looks pretty cool. The retro packaging was hard to open, but I ended up opening it anyway.
Good.
They're pretty cool figures, so yeah.
Yeah, I like the animated stuff. I wish, to be honest with you, I wish they leaned into the cell shading a bit harder. I would love to see them do like what NECA does, where it's like, it's like two-tone, like I would love to see them go that direction with it, but I understand.
Some shading figures are pretty cool. They did the same with the Batman animated series back then, like DC Direct / DC Collectibles at the time. They
Oh, they
released
did those
first the
cell shaded?
figures, and then they did them again, but with like a bit of shadow, like blue on the cape and all that for Batman and all that. So
That's
that
cool.
was pretty
That's
cool.
cool. I don't think
Yeah,
I ever saw those. That's really cool. Yeah, I like it when it's done well. Like,
yeah,
you know, I mean,
exactly.
like I said, I feel like the X-Men ones could lean into it a bit heavier, but I at this point I have all the good guys. I skipped Sinister, I skipped Mystique, just because, you know, I'm just
I
like I
like villains.
gotta draw a line. I also
Yeah,
like villains, but the animated X-Men in particular are like, you know, that's a
yeah,
big part of where my love for X-Men kind of comes from. So,
true. Yeah,
and like the way I kind of look at it was like I replaced a lot of my Hasbro Marvel Legends in my 90s X-Men display with the Mafex stuff that's been coming out.
yeah.
So like that way I can have a Legends version of it as well. That's kind of like
Hmm.
how I've kind of justified it, is like, oh, well, they're cell shaded. It's
Yeah.
something
Well, they're
different. So it's
cheaper, so
like,
it's okay. Yeah.
well, getting there. So yeah, sometimes not as much. But it's like even things today, looking at some of the reveals, like there was some reveals today that I thought were like so cool. Like the
Yeah.
that for Iron Man, the Mark 1 Iron Man. I was like, whoa, that is so
Yeah.
cool. I wish I had a reason to buy that, right? Like I, you know, like as soon as they said that the theme sets for this year were going to be Avengers based, I was like, whew, I don't have to worry about any of this stuff because I don't
Yeah.
collect any
Since you
comic.
just sold the MCU figures, like you don't even
Yep.
need to worry about it.
And even like the other stuff I sold was like my comic Avenger, or I'm selling is like my comic Avengers and like my comic cosmic stuff, because it's like I just don't really have attachments to it as much. Like I bought it because a lot of them are just really cool figures, and
Yeah.
then they just, you know, again, I just got into this habit of like, oh, that'll go on this shelf, so I'll buy it, but like no real attachment to any of it really. So yeah, so it was nice to see all that stuff, but I'm also like I can gracefully bow out because I don't have a
Yeah.
home for any of this stuff. But yeah. Oh yeah, so D says I'm ordering 12 Skrull Queens. But I mean the
Okay.
thing that I noticed today with a lot of it was like you know, like they showed that like super adaptoid. There's like that 12-inch super adaptoid figure, and I was
Yeah. Yeah.
like, I'm pretty sure that's just the 12-inch Marvel Legends Captain America with some new parts on it. Like
With
I'm pretty sure
different
that,
parts. Yeah.
because I remember, because I customized that thing. I started a custom. It's one of the few customs I ever started and didn't
So
finish.
you recognize the bits of it,
I
like this leg, I
recognized.
remember.
Yep, I recognized that. I was like, oh, this looks very familiar. But then even things like, you know, and like, you know, I was saying to you earlier, it's like I don't like to spend too much time on negative things, but it's hard for me to bypass certain things, right? Like it's like
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
showed like the Banner and Hulk 2-pack, and I was like, cool, these figures are always at a premium, these kind of like fall anniversary series or whatever.
Yeah.
But then I see the Banner and I'm just like, he's on that stupid fucking suit body like that. And it's like it's more annoying because they have
Same
the
one. Yeah.
replacement parts. Like, you know, the
They
Rose
have
they
better ones
showed
now. Yeah.
has the pinless legs and arms. You know, Mr. Knight had the pinless legs. Like use that stuff. And like I hate that Marvel Legends suit body with a deep passion. Like I just
Is it one that you've customized more, so you know like all the parts of it, and you just hate it?
Well, the thing is usually with these reveals is that's the first, you know, when it's not something I want to buy for my collection, I start looking at it for parts, right? And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, and I just like I get frustrated because especially with those like those premium lines, the premium offerings where they're more expensive, it just
Mhm.
irks me sometimes that like it's like you have the right parts in place that you
Yeah.
can use, but you choose to use these other ones, and I'm like, ah, it's
It's
frustrating.
weird. Like I don't know how it
Yeah.
works if they had the mold made after they decided to do the previous
Totally.
one and
Totally.
something
I
like
can
that.
understand
It's
wanting
just
to
weird.
utilize what you have if you don't have it, but it's the confusing
Yeah,
part
but
is when
when
you
they have
have
it,
it.
it's like yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I'm glad, like out of everything they showed today, there's really only two things like I need to have. Like I've been wanting a tarantula figure for as long as I've been collecting Marvel Legends Spider-Man
There
villains.
was a Toy Biz one back in the days. Like,
There was super
I
lanky
remember it.
looking and just yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
not really my cup of tea. So yeah, so I'm happy that we're getting that finally. But
yeah.
like everything else on that Spider-Man wave, those are all easy passes for me. I might pick up Rose if like the Build-A-Figure is compelling and I like need the part,
Yeah,
but at this point I'm
yeah.
passing.
That's how
And
they
then the
get
other
you.
one I'm going to pick up is the that Doc Ock and Aunt May 2-pack I'm gonna pick
Yeah,
that up as well. That Doc Ock looks pretty fun. So
it looks pretty great with the bowl haircut from the cartoon and all that.
with the bowl haircut, yeah, I love the that animated Spider-Man series. That's another kind of section on my shelves that I've started to like build out a little bit. So I'm
Yeah,
pretty
I
grateful to
just
get it.
rewatched it on Disney Plus, like the
Did
whole
you?
show, and there were
Nice.
some there were some parts that you're like, I watched that as a kid. Like, when they
I
go
think
through
I
the whole
watched.
clone stuff and the
Yeah.
biogenics and stuff, and you're like, I watched that as a child and I understood.
I I it wasn't recent. It was probably a couple years ago now. I think I watched seasons 1 to 3 of it, and then I kind of dropped off of it. But
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, I was surprised at how well it actually held up, considering. So that's like
A
X-Men
lot
too.
of
I
it, yeah.
actually think animated series X-Men holds up pretty well, considering how old it is. So
Yeah,
not
I
even
watched it
Jessica
before
Judy.
Spider-Man actually, and there are some episodes that the animation and all is completely different and kind of looks cheaper, and the characters are not exactly the same as the previous
Yeah.
episode, and you're like, that's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
But
Well, I
otherwise,
think
the
as they.
stories were always there.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing I liked about the X-Men animated series was it's like they took the best stories from the 70s and
Yeah.
like in early 80s, but then they put them into like 90s style artwork.
Yeah.
Because like it's like the 90s looks are my favorite looks, but my favorite stories are definitely like the Claremont era X-Men stuff. Like I
The whole
love
Phoenix
that stuff.
saga and all, to put that for children on a TV show, it's pretty rough.
Crazy, man. It's dark. It's pretty
Yeah.
dark considering. So
She destroyed the planet, like, oh, oops.
Ooh, yeah, oops.
What the fuck?
That's funny. Do you have a favorite figure of this year so far that you've gotten?
Well, I guess the turtles being the ones that are the freshest in my mind right now.
They stand out.
The Ronin figure, well, I got it this year, so I don't know if it counts for this year, of course, since it came out last year. But I guess the red one, the red and black one,
There you
will
go.
be a good one.
I'm excited to see more in-hand pictures of the red and black. I feel like I haven't really seen much of that online.
Yeah, true.
So
It's mostly people taking pictures of it
packaged.
in the store right now. So
Yeah. I'll be curious to kind of see some in-hand pictures of that one. You said you're gonna review that one eventually?
Yeah. I guess I'll group them with the Ronin one because I had taken the pics of the Ronin, but I still haven't posted the review. So I'll wait for the black and red, and I'll just do a whole post together.
That's the tricky part with like content. It's just like it takes.
I have such a backlog also. I have like a pile of unopened figures that I'm like, I need to take picture of those. I don't need to. Nobody asks me to. But I feel like I want to.
So what's your schedule like? Do you usually do like you do Toy Meme Tuesday? Do you do like a review review of figures like once a week or once every couple weeks? Or
I do an article, like a parody satire article on Mondays and Fridays. And I post a review on Wednesdays, and then the Toy Meme Tuesday stuff. And the rest of the week, I just post if something comes in my mind, and I'm like, I should post that now. And
I love it.
If it's like time sensitive, like if I don't make this joke now, nobody will get it.
I can't sit on this for weeks. I can't do it.
You can't wait Tuesday.
Figurama says I've actually been watching Gargoyles on Disney Plus lately because of the NECA figs. That's another show that, like, to me, man, I feel like that really holds up to the test of time.
Yeah,
so good,
and it
man.
should have become something bigger also. Apparently, like they were planning some sort of multiverse and all that, like with other shows, and it ended up never happening. And you're like, damn,
that's kind of a shame. They're doing a comic book, I believe, right now too. I haven't heard anything about it, but yeah. That's cool.
It's one like independent comics. It's I don't remember, not Boom Studio, but some other smaller companies like that.
Do you get into Power Rangers at all?
One of my best friends, since I was a kid, collects the Zords, all the robots.
Oh, nice.
But since the 70s, like the old Sentai, Super Sentai ones, and all that as well. Because in France we had Bioman and other ones that happened before Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. We were still having the Japanese versions of them on TV, so we had a few before Power Rangers started.
Cool.
And because of him, I kind of stay in the know of everything Power Rangers, because every now and then I see something, I share it with him, or he shares it with me, and all that. And
I
the current one in Japan, which will be in the US like in the next couple of years or something like that, there are some cool designs for the robots and all that. Yeah.
oh,
They have
nice,
like
nice.
insects themes.
Oh, that's fun. I like
Yeah.
that.
And they
I
have a
fell off
purple
Power
ranger or something
Rangers.
like that, which is like the first time.
Oh, cool.
Like
Yeah, I don't
there's a
Power
few nice
Ranger
ones.
outside of Mighty Morphin. I fell off the boat once we switched to Zeo. I tried to get into it, but it just didn't stay. But yeah, talk about something that doesn't hold up. I tried to go back and rewatch that. I mean, I did rewatch it, but I was like
That's
cringing for the whole time. I was like, "Oh my
the
god, this
clothes
is
they're
so
wearing,
bad.
so 90s and all
This
that.
is
Yeah.
so bad." And it just makes me laugh because it's like the Red Ranger is like, man, I feel bad when those Rangers change colors. Like, you know, it's like when they go from the Red Ranger to the Green Ranger in Zeo or the Blue
Yeah.
Ranger. I'm just like, this dude's got to replace his whole wardrobe now. What's gonna happen? Poor
Yeah,
Rocky's
exactly.
got to get rid of all of his red
I
clothes
have
and
to
buy
buy
only
black
blue
t-shirts
ones.
now.
The life of a Power Ranger. That sucks for them.
Like you can wear
Yeah.
other colors, you know? No.
Yeah, you don't have to wear red just because you're
It
the Red
has to
Ranger.
be.
You know that, right?
How would children know that I'm the Red Ranger? Like, well, okay.
Yeah, I'm huge at birthday parties. Um, have you ever seen any of the Boom comics? The reason I brought up Power Rangers because you
Yeah,
mentioned Boom
and
comics.
they're super good.
Oh man,
They
they're
had like
so
no
good.
rights to be that good. The Mighty Morphin stuff, and even
Yeah,
the ones with the Ninja Turtles, the crossovers, they were really
yeah,
fun to read,
yeah.
and the
I
figures that
never
came
read
out were
the.
great.
I like the figures. I never read the comics with the turtles. I was pretty
It was
restricted to
nicely
what I
done.
could buy off the Boom because I was reading it on Amazon. Like I had
Mhm.
like the Kindle membership or whatever, and they only had like a specific run on there. So, what up, Brian? Says you do know it's a secret identity, right, Jason? That's funny. You know, aside from your favorite figure, do you have something that you're looking forward to this year that you know you're pretty pumped about? You mentioned Cosmic Legions earlier. Is that kind of up at the top, or is there anything
That
else that
and the
you're really?
Savage Crucible stuff, because
Yeah, is that actually
that's
supposed to
gonna
come
look
out
great.
this year though?
Yeah, at the end of the year, I think. Like
Oh,
the
nice.
Rob, the guy that's behind the Savage Crucible, they have already taken care of all the molds and the factory stuff and all, so they're gonna
Oh,
try to get everything super fast to people.
oh, wow,
So
that's
they
awesome.
should hopefully before 2024 at least, an end of the year supposedly, the first wave
Very
at least.
cool. Very cool. Have you
Yeah,
been
there's
following
those.
along with um, High School Creations, that Wall XD that he's working on right
Yeah,
now?
that's interesting. Like
Oh man,
I
very
like that
cool.
everything is like made for Detolf nowadays. It's like the Detolf has become its own thing.
It has. Well, like
Like
they
I've been
stopped selling the detox here in Canada. I don't know about everywhere else, but in Canada you can't get them anymore.
really.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't have details, so maybe I'm wrong on that, but I thought that's what was kind of going around. So I know
I
like some of the
saw.
components of the Billies have been
Yeah.
discontinued as well. Like the doors that I have on mine have been discontinued.
Yeah, that's the problem with IKEA. It's either they discontinue stuff or they change it, and then if you buy the new one, it doesn't look exactly like
They
the
don't.
previous one, so it doesn't
Yeah.
work with the same
Oh,
parts.
there you go. D says no. You're right. There's a shortage. So if it's just a shortage, it's not really discontinued, or maybe it
Yeah.
is. But
I saw here
yeah.
at least last time I went, they don't have the black ones anymore. They just have the ones with the white wooden
Oh,
parts,
interesting.
and that
Interesting.
sucks because I have like 12 black ones, and if I want to buy another one, then I'll have a white one randomly in the middle.
Ryan Carper says someone should make a meme making factions with how you display your toys.
That was one of my first posts, and he knows it. It was like the Detolf Club, the D Generation Shelf, the Minting Card Foundation. I don't remember the last one.
That's funny. That's so funny.
And I had made like Titantrons with the actual musics and just filming stuff in my room.
Oh god, that's the
And I
best.
got the
That's
Detolf
so
Club
good.
T-shirt as well. A lot of it.
Do you use mostly like I see obviously in the back you've got all details there. Is that pretty exclusively what you use?
No, I have a few like simple. Maybe I can. Over the TV, I have some
Oh, okay,
normal
nice.
shelves. I have a few more details on the side, and
Man, that's
then
dope.
I have some one that I bought in Estonia last year. That's like a honeycomb kind of thing. And my girlfriend has invaded it a bit with plushies and stuff. But
I like that. I like the plushies. Plushies are fun. It's something a little different.
Yeah.
It's cool. Muso says, "Cheers, man. Hopefully we can chat Saturday night." Oh, I think he's talking to Jordan. Jordan's been joining us on Saturday. Hand jobs for all. Hand jobs for all. Yeah, we're pretty excited. We're going to Fan Expo this year in August in Toronto. So
cool.
I'm gonna fly home and we're gonna go to Fan Expo, hang out, and then I'm gonna go see my mom in Windsor. And pretty excited about it. But it'd be just cool just to go and hopefully meet up with some people. I kind of touch base with Toying Around and with Bearded Builds and see if we can meet up with some people. Jordan as well. Jordan from Canada. Hopefully he'll be able to connect with us while we're there. And yeah, man, I'm looking for. I just keep seeing. I mean, I can imagine how you feel because you are very far away. But it's like seeing all like the Toy Amigos meetups and the Enablers meetups and the Legion Cons meetups and then the Jersey meetups, and I'm just like, oh my god, I'm fucking so behind. Like I need to get out there.
So far from everything.
Yeah, I mean, that's like. You know, I think like Chamba's like that too, right? Where Chamba's like, you know, he's not really out and about. But next year, he said he will. Right?
Of all the people, actually, the funny thing is that I've actually probably met Chamba a few times because he used to be, and he's this year also at MEFCC, the Middle East Festival and Comic Con.
That's this weekend, isn't it?
It's this weekend in Abu Dhabi, but it used to be in Dubai the last 5-6 years. And my father lives in Dubai, so I used to go there just in April for the Comic Con.
Oh, cool.
And Chamba was like, wait, what year were you there? Because I was there like in 2010, 11, 12, and I was there all those years. Like, so we were in the same room with Chamba like years ago, and we didn't know it. And it's pretty funny now to know that from all the Toy Amigos, I've actually met the one that's the furthest, possibly.
Well, I mean, I suppose in that sense, you're kind of the closest to him, so I guess it's not super weird. So Chamba like has a nice voice. What a coincidence!
Flight.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's still a huge flight from Europe, at least from the northern Europe. It's 20 hours something.
I think ours is like about that too. 20. Like where I'm in the country, it's a bit different because I can go just across the ocean and go down. But it's
you
still
don't have to go through the whole map.
That's right. That's right.
The other side.
That's right. But yeah, like Australia is one of those places that like I would love to go and visit, but I just I don't know if I could do that ride. I don't know if I could do that. I struggle on planes. I have like I'm not claustrophobic, but I have like a like personal space phobia of just like people being
in a plane,
too. Yeah, it's not the best. So usually like when I travel, like I usually
you're in the middle seat or something. It's like the worst.
Oh, if I got sat in a middle seat, I would reschedule my flight. I couldn't do a middle seat. I'd have a panic attack for sure. Yeah. So like when I go to like, it's been nice because over the last, I don't know, 5 years or something, they've legalized weed in Canada, right? So like, you know, I usually take edibles before I go on a flight so I can just kind of space out, right?
And then you're just chatting with everybody in the plane.
Oh, no, like, I'm the opposite.
Sir, are you okay?
I'm the opposite. I put my headphones on and I just shut down. But like I went to Atlanta last year for a food convention and I couldn't take anything. And like, fuck, man, it was very challenging. I really struggled. And when I went to Amsterdam this year, I also didn't take anything, but I ended up getting some.
You have it all available there anyway, so.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I was pretty disappointed with the weed in Amsterdam.
Really?
I was pretty. Yeah, I thought I was expecting it to be so much better, and then like I was like, oh, yeah. I it's funny because I only smoked twice when I was there, so like I'm pretty open about it. I'm like I call myself like a functioning pothead, right? Like I smoke quite a bit, and we went to Amsterdam, my wife and I, and I was like, hey, obviously I'm gonna smoke a couple times while I'm here. So I think it was like the Tuesday night
when in Rome.
When in Rome. So yeah, so I went the one night to a cafe and got got some and started chatting with the guy, and he was like, "Oh, weed's legal in Canada too, isn't it?" And I was like, "Yeah." I had a Blue Jays hat on, so he kind of knew I was Canadian. And
The giant
so
Canada
yes,
flag and all.
yeah.
What? How did you know?
How did you know that? Yeah. And then so I got just like a joint. I just got like a pre-roll, right? And went out and had a puff, and like God, it tasted so bad. And like it just wasn't a strong high. And I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I kind of wrote it off as like maybe just like, maybe I just need to say, look, like I'll pay. I'm
Yeah.
not concerned about the price. The price is not the issue. So yeah, so Friday night I went back kind of the night before we left, and I to a different place, and I said, look, I'm like, I bought some weed on Tuesday. I wasn't super happy with
It
it.
was not
And
good.
I
Yeah.
said, like, I want to go back to Canada with like to be able to say, like, man, Amsterdam has fucking the chronic. And I was like, just give me what you got. I'm happy to pay whatever, right? So buy a doobie. I think it was like, I don't know, 15 or 17 euros for like one doobie. And I was like, that's pretty substantial amount of money, but it's gotta be good. Man,
Uh,
it was not good. It was
uh,
more potent than the first one, but good lord, it tasted terrible. It was
well, I
so
guess maybe
bad.
you have really good stuff in Canada then, and
We do.
you didn't
Yeah.
realize it, or yeah.
Yeah, we do. We especially on the West Coast. We've got some pretty good stuff out here. So
Okay.
yeah. So but it made me miss it from like, and I was just like, I was kind of disappointed because it's like out of all places that I would expect to like, enjoy that, I figured Amsterdam would be the place, but tis what it is. So Marcus
But
E says, oh boy, we're talking about the devil's lettuce. Hope in the future will be so advanced we can leave Yelp reviews on shitty weed.
well, that's
What can
why
I say, Ryan?
legalizing it is a good stuff, because then you can have like reviews, you can have stuff like that. You can have commercials on TV for weed. Imagine commercials on TV.
Well, it's funny because like, I've smoked for a long time. I probably smoked for like 20 something years, and
Hmm.
I've just recently started buying it like legally. Like for the longest time, still, even when it was legal, I was still getting it
It
through
still
like
feels
shady.
weird, right?
Well, that's the thing, right? And like I remember like maybe 2 or 3 times ago when I went to the store to get it, I bought it, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, man, this just is so fucking weird. Like it's still weird to me to buy weed at a store. And he goes, it's weird for you? He's like, I sell weed for the government. I was like, fuck, I didn't even think about that. That's so fucked up.
Yeah. That is a different thing, yeah. I had kind of this experience. I was last year in April in Las Vegas with my mom for like she had her 60th birthday during COVID, and we had
Okay,
planned to do a big trip, but it ended up being delayed and delayed and delayed. So we ended up having it just last year.
nice.
And at some point, yeah, I was out one evening alone. I went to like Fremont Street, grab a joint and all, and I light it up and just like start to take a few puffs, and then I turn my head and there's like 2 cops standing behind me. And I was like, oh shit, and oh no, it's legal here.
It's good. Yeah, we're good. You're
For
in
like a
Sin
few
City,
seconds
baby.
you're like, I'm gonna get arrested in the US for no, I'm not actually.
Well, it's funny because when I first moved to Vancouver, I've been in Vancouver for 15 years, and like at the time when I moved here, it wasn't legal, but I had always heard that like the cops are very chill about it, and like just whatever. And like I remember one day I was walking down to the movies, and I got the whiff of weed, and I was like, oh, it smells good, right? And then I just see this guy walk by, 3 cops smoking a joint, and they
Whoa.
didn't even stop and look at this guy. And like I was so blown away that I called my friend right there, and I was like, you are not gonna believe what I just fucking saw. This dude just walked by these 3 cops smoking a joint, and they didn't even fucking look at him. And he's like, oh my god. And then like I remember we would go to like 420 celebrations, and they were like thousands of people. They would close off a whole downtown city block, and it was just like they would hotbox downtown. Like it was
Giant
crazy.
hot box, yeah.
It was seriously like I remember seeing aerial pictures, and I'm just like, oh my god, fucking
You could just
stoners.
see smoke from the sky, like it's a giant cloud over it.
Pretty much. That's pretty much what it was. It was fucking great, man. It was
Yeah,
it
what
was
D
funny.
is saying, like, imagine being one of those people getting 20 years for that. Like, you must be
Yeah,
like, great.
great.
Didn't they like sort them out or something? Didn't they just check like, okay, this person was arrested for that, so we can probably
I'm
just
not sure, to
remove
be
the
honest.
sentence or something? I don't
I
know.
fucking
That
hope
sounds a
so.
bit
That'd be
much.
great. What up, Matchu Toy? How's it going, man? How was your guys' show tonight? I have to
Clash
go
of the
and catch
Matchus.
that. Matchus, we be here. We be matchuing. He had Sergeant Bananas on tonight. That'll be a good one. I'm excited to watch that one. So, have you watched any of the Between Two Sentinels stuff? It's fucking great,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I started because I saw that there was Cheney and Kevin and all that. So I
Yep.
was like, another show, because basically all the shows I ended up watching, it was like because at some
Because
point
of
the
those
Toy
guys.
Migo was a guest
Yep.
and then I
Me
stayed
too.
or something.
That's like Figure
And,
Booth. I got into Figure Booth because they had
there you
Cheney
go.
on, and then ever since I've been obsessed. And then like same with, I mean, I've been watching Matchus since the beginning, just because me and Matchu chat, and
Yeah.
obviously we're the same person, and
Obviously.
then once I started watching it, and it's just like I know I said this in a previous one, but it's like Jay Shot reminds me of like a wrestler cutting a promo all the time. Like he's just super charismatic. He's always got the right thing to say, and I'm just like, and then it's funny because then it's like the dynamic between the two of them, they're so different, but it's just like it works so well, right? So it's
always like that. Yeah.
It's
if
funny
everybody
because
was the same, it would be kind of boring, I guess. If everybody was
true.
cutting promos the whole time, like, let me tell you something, brother. Like the whole show.
Well, I don't know. Do you remember when the Twin Migos had their 300th episode and they cut a fucking wrestling promo? And I was like, oh my god.
Like,
hey! That's funny. Yeah, I love it. Yeah. So
two variants.
we're pretty fortunate to be in such a cool community, I think, because it's just.
And at this point, there's like a show every evening.
I know.
Like every day when I work, I listen to the show from the previous day, and every day there's something.
It's funny because when I do get an odd like free chance, I try to check something that I don't check out regularly, and I kind of jump between like Unparalleled. I don't catch Unparalleled regularly, but I might catch one every couple weeks or 3 or 4 weeks, and then same with Dan, who is the other one.
Yeah.
Who I kind of like jump in and out.
Also that he does now are pretty nice.
The Sunday Sunday bar or whatever it's called, or
breakfast.
So I mean, something like that. Yeah. So those are the kind of things I've been. I think the first one that kind of got me was one of the Friday nights with Robo. I think it was back in the day. That was kind of like what got me into it. And then then he would have like MCU Collector, and Adam would come on playing with myself.
The Wade stuff.
The Wade nights.
I came up with the name.
Streams. Did you?
I was in the chat. I was like, hey, W.A.D.E and stuff, and then made up like Wendigo appreciation or something. And then I think it was Adam. He caught it in the chat, and he was like, we should do that. And I was like, that was my idea.
Oh, that's great. I love it. Breakfast bar. There you go.
I did the Dare logo, like the anti-drug stuff, Dare, D-A-R-E, and I just replaced the letter with A-W-A-D-E, and I sent it to Art with Toys, and he showed it during the show, and I was like, see, that was mine.
I love it. See? It's all thanks to you. It's all thanks to you.
Bringing people together.
That's right. With comedy.
Yes.
Oh, man. All right. Well, listen, I think we're going to wrap this up. I have a bunch of toys. I was saying to you earlier, I took out 240 figures from my display. And last weekend, I spent Friday night taking them all out of the display and putting them in bags. And then I spent all day Saturday going through my accessories, pulling out all the proper accessories, making sure that everything had what they're supposed to have. And and now I have to, like yesterday at night, I took pictures, and then tonight I have to put prices on everything because I want to post them on Friday because I have a free weekend this weekend. And I usually when I sell, I need to like dedicate a weekend to selling because it's like you keep people waiting too long.
eBay or Marketplace or something?
I just put it on Instagram, man. Honestly, I get the most success off Instagram.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I used to do it locally. I would offer it to local. So usually what I do is I send everything out to my friends, and I'm just like, anybody who wants it, you kind of get first dibs at it. And then
does anybody want 250 figures? Yeah,
we'll take that. Sure. Well, I mean, if anybody wants a MCU collection, I could pretty much set you up with basically like 95% of the MCU figures to date. So hit me up. So Oh, look at that. That's nice. Machu Toy says, Toy Farce, thank you for always making me laugh and also sharing my posts. Yes, thank you. I have to say thank you because
Anytime.
you always do that, man. It's very much appreciated. So for both those things, supporting and the fucking constant jokes and laughs that you
Yeah,
have.
most of the time I just share like the shows that I actually watch. It costs me nothing, and it just like makes other people happy and might make
It
other people
does.
discover a show, and there's no point in not doing it sometimes. Like if I
Yeah,
forget,
man.
then I feel kind of bad the next day because
You should
it's
never
like,
feel bad.
shit. I think it's Fabster has a show every week, and every week I see the next day on YouTube like, I forgot to post
Fuck.
that.
Yeah. I think one day you messaged me and you're like, oh, sorry, I forgot to post it yesterday. I'm like, dude,
Yeah,
never apologize. I
dude,
think
I never asked.
Jordan
Like,
Jordan from Canada is another one who's like, he's like actually messaged me on Instagram and be like, man, I'm so sorry I can't make it today. I'm like, dude, you never have to apologize for that. Like the fact that you're there when you're there means literally everything to me. Like,
yeah,
and you know, and it's like it's I've been fortunate because it seems like week after week I'm seeing the regulars kind of get a little bit bigger. You know, I'm starting to see kind of a bit. I mean, I'm still like low comparatively to a lot of the other shows, but like, you know, again, I realize it's a Wednesday night, it's midnight on the East Coast, so like, you
yeah.
know,
Well,
not
as long
everybody
as
can
you're
stick
having
around for
fun,
that, right?
that's like, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Like that's what it ultimately comes down to, and
If
I've
it
said that
becomes a
to the group
chore,
in
then
here.
it's not. Yeah,
Yeah,
but if
that's
you're
the
having
thing.
fun,
Is
even if there's two people in the chat and you just chat
yep,
with those two people, that's still fine.
that's
Like,
that's literally me and Moose Milk. Like we, you know, we might have 3 or 4 people, and it's like, you know, Marcus has been showing up, Jordan's been showing up, Nike Boy's been showing up, who I think I missed his comment earlier. Sorry, buddy, but thank you for being here. And like honestly, man, you just get a couple people that can drive that conversation, and it's so fucking fun. Like last
yeah,
week, I think Jordan posed the question, uh, when you grew up, would you prefer to have grown up having the technology we have now, or would you kind of leave it as is?
yeah. I
And it
saw that
spun
one. Yeah,
into an awesome conversation, and I was just
I
like,
yeah, it was a great
man,
conversation. Yeah,
such a
and
good
I was thinking
conversation to
like
have.
maybe the internet, because we're that generation where the internet happened when we were like teenagers, so it kind of like we had the childhood part that was like old school in the sense that we
Yep.
were going outside and playing
But then
video
we got
games
the
at
new
home.
school component of
Yeah,
it, right?
and so it's like we just became sad adults basically. That's the only thing it did.
Like one of the
Because it's
things that
like
like
now we're kind of like backwards because we like stuff that were before internet, but at the same
yep,
time we also enjoy a lot of the internet stuff like
yes.
Uber or whatever. Like it's always a great service. And
I won't lie. I definitely stick with current tech versus previous tech, but I will say that there was definitely something like even in terms of like toy stuff. Like
mm,
remember going to a
yeah,
store and seeing a new figure of something that you were collecting and you didn't know it was coming out and you look on the
yes,
back of the box and you see all the stuff that's part of that wave and you're like, "Holy shit, they made this. They made this."
there's
Like
gonna
I
be this. They
remember
check in the peg. Like, is there this one?
like I
I want
remember
this other
seeing
one.
like the old 5-inch Toy Biz X-Men figures and they had the talking ones with the boxes that you put on the back. And I
Yes.
remember like looking at that and seeing all the different ones and I was like, whoa, because my Toys R Us only had Cyclops. And I was like, there's a Wolverine, no way, right? And it's just like, fuck, man. Like there's something about that nostalgia that just can't be beat, you know? So,
Yeah,
thank
it
you,
was a good
Jordan.
time.
You're the man. Appreciate it. And Matthew, don't you apologize. You never have to. It's all good. Hunting for NECA stuff. Yeah, you and Jay Shaw hit the jackpot. I saw that. I was very jealous. But then I was grateful because Mr. Figurama here hooked me up. He got me. So we'd be good. But I'm still looking for accessory set. So if anybody finds one, holler at your boy. Fucking A. Dude, thank you very much for hanging out and chatting
Well,
with me.
thank you
This
for
was very
having me, sir.
fun. Yeah. When we did
Anytime.
that one with Astonishing, I was like, hey, we need to do this on my stream now.
Yeah, it was great too. Yeah.
It was very fun. I wish I could get
I
Ernie on
didn't
here,
know at
but
first. He hadn't told me who else was
me
there. He was
neither.
like, "It's gonna be a surprise." So then
Yep,
he
me
put the
neither.
screen on, and there was you and Ernie. I was like, "Cool."
That was a fun one because the dynamic between everybody was pretty different. So
Yeah.
it was pretty good, right? So yeah, that was a really fun stream. I had a good time with that one. I'd love to get Ernie on here, but honestly, it's just like Mr. Wednesday night. He's just so busy, right? So just
Yeah.
probably
True. He
will
has
never happen.
the Starlight Digest and
Yep.
his own show on Wednesday. So
I told him I'll eventually get on his show if he wants, and I'll just do a long Wednesday night one night, and be fun. That'd be fun to do. But yeah, but thanks again, man. Really appreciate you taking the time out of your day. Now you get to go and work. That's so fun. That's fun. Ugh. I can stay up late tonight because I don't have to work at the office tomorrow. I get to stay home, so be fun.
Fair enough.
Yeah, man. But for anybody, again, who is looking for information, please go check out Toy Farce on Instagram and Toy News International. His socials are all here and also in the description. And
thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks again for being here, man. And for everybody in the chats, if you haven't, please, again, hit that like, hit that thumbs up button. It really helps. And we'll be back next week for episode 47 with my buddy Token Customs. Go check him out. I'm excited to shoot the shit with him. And join me and Moose Milk on Saturday night, 10 p.m. Pacific on his YouTube. And we're going to be going over this week's episode of Last of Us. Have you been watching Last of Us?
Not yet.
You're going to wait?
Yeah, I was waiting for just the whole thing to be released and then watch all at once or something.
It's really good, man. I'm really
also maybe replay the game before watching it once.
Okay, like so you played the game, so you kind of
yeah, but when it came out, so it's like years ago.
So it's been a minute.
Yeah,
Ryan's...
I didn't play the second one, so I because I didn't have the PS4 after that.
Yeah,
but yeah, so I was thinking maybe I'll just replay it quickly before rewatching the show.
Nice. Moose Milk's been doing without me. He's been doing like a playthrough of the. I guess they just re-released it on PS5 or something. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong there. But he's been replaying it on Twitch.
Nice.
So yeah, that's kind of cool. Kind of fun to do that. And then we'll also be talking about Mando this week, which I'm excited to talk about. So.
Oh yeah, that was.
Mando was fun. It was fun. Lots of good callbacks. I wish it was longer, but.
Yeah, exactly. When it ended, I was like, is that all?
No, yeah. Yeah, that's okay. We'll get there. All right, man. Have a great night. And thank you, everybody, for being here. Appreciate you all. And we will see you next week. Peace out.
Cheers.